How could it be? Check. 1 2 1 2. We on, baby. Salakia. I'm gonna give a second for everybody to come in real quick. They get the alert. I want to see 1 or 2 people before I start talking to nobody. Yeah, buddy. Yeah. Salakia, Israel. You understand we had a little technical difficulties. You know what I mean? Ain't a small thing, though. We got to handle. We're getting ready to rock this class out. Big shout out to Sister Arbana. I knew she was going to be the first one to log in here. Probably was waiting the whole time, talking big jump. That's my sister right there, man. He had to do the whole joint. But yeah, big shout out to everybody. All right, let's clap it. Let's get it on, man. Good night. Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahshabakatah, Yahweh Shema Atah, Shem Yahshah. We the I.S.U.P.K. Started at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander YAHANNA. All right, we're not affiliated with any other Israelite group, Blackie to Black movement, Christian church, or nothing. We stand. Oh, what's up, sir? We stand alone. This is 1969. Teach the truth about this Bible that our so-called blacks, Latinos, Native American Indians are the real Jews. All right. Today is a Wednesday night biblical law class. I'm Officer 1000 Kowal. All right, out of Fayetteville, North Carolina. Under Captain I thought. All right, we're gonna go with some scriptures about the law, of course, keeping Most High God's law, statutes, commandments, not doing after the ways of Egypt, and how to survive in these last days. So the Most High God will have mercy on us. All right, get us on those chariots and let's usher in the kingdom of heaven. Big shout out to Commander YAHANNA. You know, I mean, this year's pastor was coming up right around the corner. Go and start getting your affairs in order. All right. April 15th, Mark, y'all, is it? April 15th, I believe. Contact your camp leader if you have any issues, transportation, anything. All right. Hotel reservations. Let's not wait till the last minute. All right, let's get the show on the road. Big shout out to Sister Arba in the chat. Sister Maya Panya, what's up, sis? Sister Paria, what's going on? Hey, Salakia for the delay. We had some technical difficulties with this high-tech camera we got. It damn thing didn't want to work, but we rolling now. All right. That's right. Oh, sign Christ. Yeah, we're gonna start out today. We're gonna get started with this. All right, give me the book of Leviticus, chapter 18 and verse 1. You know, if you haven't heard, all right, World War III is coming. Thermonuclear destruction is coming to America and all this whole planet, man. Nation has risen against nation. I know you hear the wars and rumors of wars. Everything that the Bible said was going to happen is happening now before your eyes. You understand? If you're not in tune, maybe you're too busy watching Basketball Wives or some other stupid show. But I tell you what, you turn the news on, you're going to see Donald Trump threatening countries. You're going to see Vladimir Putin. You're going to see all these countries, North Korea, Kim Jong-un. You're like, damn, what's going on? These international affairs, man, have everything to do with God's chosen people and Christ returning. Right. And that's great news if you're Israelite, man. That's right. It is great news that the Most High God is sending Christ to get his children. After all we've been through, all the captivities of the Bible, the time is finally coming to the end. Babylon is falling before our eyes. So what does that have to do with us? Now we know that Babylon is falling. Now we know that Christ will return any day now. What manner of people should we be? What type of brothers and sisters should we be in Christ? All right. We're going to start off today in the book of Leviticus, chapter 18 and verse 1. You know, so when you get that, brother, for me.
Check. The book of Leviticus, chapter 18, verse 1. Mm-hmm. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel.
Speaking to the children of Israel. Notice the Lord didn't speak to your mama. The Lord didn't speak to 10 different Negroes. Right. One person the Lord spoke to, Moses. Right. That's one thing we got to get through our thick, greasy heads is that what? The Most High God deals with a man, all right, to lead his nations. Always been like that. If you read the Bible, you know anything about Black history, it's always been like that. Right. The Most High God deals with a man, and then you understand, with the wisdom and guidance, sets up structure and order and rank, just like it is in heaven. Right now, that one man is Commander YAHANNA, whether you know it or not. It damn sure ain't T.D. Jakes. Right. It damn sure ain't Dr. Umar Johnson. It damn sure ain't Elijah Muhammad or whatever the hell his name is in the damn Muslim church. It's Commander YAHANNA. And we better follow orders and pay attention. It don't matter if you like it or not. It's what it is. And it's biblical. The Most High God spoke to Moses. Read on.
speak unto the children of Israel.
That's us, blacks, Latinos, Native American Indians. Go ahead.
And say unto them, I am the Lord your God.
He's our power. When you see that word God in the Bible, sometimes that word means power. The Most High God is our power, not Bitcoin, not weed farms, not financial freedom,
Right.
not have dinner with Jay-Z or $1 million,
Right.
not some stupid zodiac sign, not rubbing crystals together. The Most High God is our power, man. He's who we turn to. You understand? That's the truth about the matter. So whenever you see that word God in there, you can mostly sometimes substitute that with power, because that's what it means. And it helps you understand the scriptures more and make it more flat for you. All right, read on.
Verse 3. After the doings of the land of Egypt, wherein ye dwelt, shall ye not do.
Everybody knows we dwelt in Egypt for like 400 years. We built those treasure cities. There's nothing more I hate than seeing some stupid dreadhead blackity black nutcase on Twitter or TikTok talking about some Anunnaki building pyramids and Anunnaki and these big 30-foot niggas, Africans built. No, they didn't. Blacks, Latinos, Native American Indians built. The Israelites built those pyramids, man, with rigor, getting our backs whipped. You understand? Forced us. We built those pyramids and treasure cities. You don't think black people are intelligent enough to come up with the engineering to do it? It's crazy to see a white man try to, come up with all these. Well, how are they doing it? These big rocks and the angle in the sun. Man, please. I see the slave house in North Carolina that the Negroes built a slave shed. It was a barn house with no nails. Slaves built a barn house with no nails using wooden nails and wooden screws, and the thing is still standing to this day. It's 3 floors, for God's sake. The damn thing is 3 floors, enough to make you look like, what the hell? Damn thing is almost 200 years old. You can't tell me black people aren't intelligent enough. The black women, hidden figures. Black women did the mathematical equations to send the damn spaceships in orbit so they can go on Mars and Jupiter and all this nonsense. Don't tell me black people ain't built the pyramids. You're damn right they did. They did a lot more too. Although medicines and sciences, that's black people stuff, man.
Right.
No stinking African. Yeah. Yeah. What was that? That's the freaking movie. Yeah. With the black woman. Yeah, I got some problems with that movie, but nonetheless, black women play a major role. Black men play a major role in black history and world history, period. So after the doings of Egypt, read on.
Wherein ye dwelt.
Well, we dwelt for 400 years. It's a lot of time. We've been here in America how long? About the same amount of time. 400 years damn near. We picked up a lot of bad habits. Read on.
Shall ye not do.
After the doings of Egypt, you should not do. You understand? It's a lot of stuff that encompasses. A lot. You mean to tell me you can't even go to New York for 6 months to a year without picking up a New York accent? You can't go to Korea without trying to use chopsticks. What makes you think you're going to dwell in the land of Egypt and not pick up some nonsense? It's how it happens. You go to Vegas enough, you're going to be a degenerate gambler. How it happens. If you're not strong, if you don't have a God that gives us rules and forbids us to do certain things. Right? We dwell in that land for 400 years. But God is our power. He said, don't do the nonsense that they were doing up in there. Go ahead, Monkey.
No, so like if I may, that just makes me think about the value of a people or a nation of people having their own land. Is very, very important. You can look at Donald Trump. This bastard wants to change the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America.
Yeah, he does.
And can you imagine having that type of authority, that type of power?
Yes.
And see, so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we don't understand that. Maybe the Native Indians do.
Right.
They understand how valuable,
to.
It is to have ties to the land.
Right.
But we've gone through a process of Americanization. You can Google it. Sociology talks about how, America's supposed to be a melting pot.
Right.
And you got people coming from all over the world with their cultures, but for some odd reason, they come to America and they start celebrating the 4th of July. They start celebrating Memorial Day.
Yes.
They remember 9/11.
Yes, they
So-called
do.
blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we cannot afford to do any of that. Okay, so
No, you so right, man. Get brother hand. He's so right. We can't afford to do none of it. None. Can't afford to be doing that nonsense. You know, go ahead, read that part from the top.
we are in the
How the
book
hell
of
you doing
Leviticus,
that?
the 18th chapter, verse 3. After the doings of the land of Egypt, wherein ye dwelt, shall ye not do.
Man, you should not do after the doings. You understand? Go ahead.
And after the doings of the land of Canaan, whither I bring you, shall ye not do.
Same thing. The land of Canaan. You understand? Egypt. We should not do those things. Now, just make you think about what are some things that they were doing in the land of Egypt. Don't mind you, they're heathens. The Egyptians were heathens. The Africans. Now, the people today that's over there, a bunch of Arabs in Africa. It's a bunch of Arabs over there, Chinese man running around buying up every damn thing. But these are Africans. And you can see some of their habits: eat with their hands, slopping up stuff. Big time drug addicts in Africa. Don't let them confuse you. They have a lean epidemic in Africa. They smoke all kind of nonsense. Monkey crush monkey bones. They smoke all kinds in Africa, man. They eat all manner of bush meat and wickedness. They have sex with each other. Homosexuality is crazy in Africa. They have so-called scarification and mutilation, vaginal mutilation to little girls, cutting off their clitorises. Yeah, I know it sounds bad. It is bad. Those are some of the doing abortions, homemade with sticking all kind of. It's insane. Worshiping all. How many different gods did they have in Egypt? Somebody blow my mind. It was like 350 some odd gods or something craziness they had in Egypt. Worshiping big dog head gods. The barkless Basenji dog was made popular in Egypt because they said it's some type. It's ridiculous, man.
Salak, if I may.
Mm-hmm.
It says the ancient Egyptians worshipped over 1,400 to 2,000 gods and goddesses. And it goes in, this is according to AI. This is an AI overview.
Right.
And it goes in, it says they have the great Enid, which are non-gods worship at Heliopolis, Salakia. And it mentions the name of these deities. And it says other major gods. And it mentions those. And it has minor deities. And then it has crossover deities.
Yes.
It says the Egyptian pantheon was not fixed. And the gods' characters were not well defined. New gods appeared. And others were no longer worshipped. Many gods were anthropomorphic, meaning they were depicted as part human and part animal.
Part human and part animal. All those guys in Egypt, man. Can you imagine that? We do Egypt for 400 years. You just read to me all these gods and part humanness, and you wonder all this nonsense, these demigods and half dog, half all this crap comes from Egypt. But we picked up all kinds of filth when we were in Egypt, man. Bestiality. I mean, they did an excavation of some mummies back in the early 90s, and they were full of tobacco. Full of tobacco. There were some smoking Joes up there in Africa, man. I mean, for thousands of years old, and they tested the damn teeth and mouth and skin and pores of these, or whatever the hell was left of these Egyptians, and all kind of opioid came out of them. Just look it up. Look up, the excavation of the mummies, and they did these tests on like DNA tests, drug tests, all kind of nicotine. You understand? All type of opioids. Don't let nobody tell you that black people, Latinos are just natural drug addicts. We learn all our bad habits from these heathen nations, man. Right. Every last goddamn one of them we have learned from these stinking, filthy Africans and the rest of these nations. Read on, brother.
Neither shall ye walk in their ordinances.
Man, don't walk in the ordinances. Can you imagine the ordinances some stinking heathen would have? Please go ahead.
Salakia, you could just look at, us here today, The so-called oppressor, the so-called white man, says that it's appropriate for a man to marry another man. It's totally legally binding for you, to marry a woman if you're another woman.
Yeah,
you could smoke weed here in this place.
Yeah, those ordinances, man. Listen, brother, those are heathen ordinances. That's not for us to do. That's against our culture law. Homosexuality is against. I was in Afghanistan for 9 months, and the order, man, they hold hands. Men hold hands as a show of affection over there, man. First time I seen it, I was like, what the hell are they doing? They was like, hey, brother, you got to be careful. You can't really talk against their customs. I said, man, that's gay, man. But that's what they do. Imagine the ordinance of Egypt, the type of nonsense they was doing over there. Go ahead, brother, please.
Salakia,
Hold on, we got some shout outs. I'm live on TikTok. Shout out to Sister Kaya Wife. What's going on, sis? Down there at Tampa, Florida, doing it big. To our sister. Shalom. Who else there? We got Lamora, Brother Kerry. What's up, y'all? You know what I mean? Y'all got any questions? Feel free to type them in the chat. We're going to, Lord, when we get your answer. Go ahead.
Oh, Salakia, I ran across this. There is this phenomenon going on right now here in America where people are literally abandoning their children. And they call it the baby Moses laws. And it says they allow parents to leave unwanted children at safe locations without facing charges. Nebraska's law initially had no age limit, leading to children up to 17 being surrendered. And so, their law said it's appropriate for you to abandon your baby, which doesn't make any sense at all.
Right. It doesn't make no sense. Oh, they done blocked me from live already. I ain't been on live for 5 seconds. They already removed me. Good night. No, I don't. Oh, how to get back? Hate speech. Oh, Lord. Somebody flagged me already.
Salaki, we're in the book of Leviticus, the 18th chapter, verse 3.
Hey, Salaki, I was trying to go live on TikTok. I thought TikTok was like X, man. You can't say a damn thing on TikTok. Boy, you ain't going to stop this truth from coming out. I don't give a damn. We blocked me and I'll be back. Go ahead, Bonkia.
No. Salaki, the book of Leviticus, chapter 18, verse 3. After the doings of the land of Egypt, wherein ye dwelt, shall ye not do. And after the doings of the land of Canaan, whither I bring you, shall ye not do. Neither shall ye walk in their ordinances.
Oh, man. Neither shall you walk in. What's the definition of ordinance? You got that, brother? We shouldn't walk in the ordinance. You got to understand something. Do you think that America is so far removed from slavery and the hatred for Negroes? It's not. We still see Confederate flags flying, and we're hundreds of years removed. Do you think Africans and people in Africa are removed from their ordinances the way they think? Go ahead, Bonkel.
Ordinance as a noun, according to Merriam-Webster, an authoritative decree or direction, an order, a law set forth by a governmental authority, a municipal regulation, something ordained or decreed by fate or deity.
Something, oh my goodness, boy.
A prescribed usage, practice, or ceremony.
Oh, what about you fraternities and sororities? Oh, they like to go back to Africa. They like to, this is an African rituals dance. This ain't Greek, bro. One brother told me that. They in a party doing some stupid line dance, 2 sweaty monkeys. And then, this ain't Greek, this African. Well, big whoop. It's still not Israelite culture.
At all.
Saying, everything, branding yourself or getting branded by some man, it's insane.
Salakia, when it comes down to the Greek or the Black Greek fraternities and sororities, they're dehumanizing. You gotta bark like a damn dog.
Yes.
They make you hoop around and scream like a damn monkey.
Yes.
You don't look at the so-called oppressors, fraternities and sororities. They don't do any of that. And the sick thing about it is that the Bible says that we're the light of the world.
Yes.
They start to mimic us. So we've taken on their customs, and then we take it and we just go all out with it.
Yes.
And they look at that as being, cool.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, no, this is degrading.
It is very
I hate it when they do the damn party hops and they get mad if you bump into them.
Yeah.
Or the Drewski. I love it when Drewski sit up there and pretended like he was a fake
man. Nigga, that was funny.
They gave him death threats.
Yeah, they did.
Brothers was pissed about that.
And it's another black man.
Yeah.
You're not getting death threats to Trayvon Martin's killers and the people who were with Zora Zimmerman trying to buy the auction gun and talking. The Q Dog said nothing to the racists. But Drewski's a comedian. He makes a joke about it. Now they want to threaten. It's ridiculous. The spirit of Egypt on them so heavy. Greek letter organization, most of that stuff is Egyptian. It's ridiculous. We not to do those things that we learned in captivity in Egypt for all those years. You understand? Go ahead on that, brother.
Verse 4. Ye shall do my judgments.
You better do not your judgments, not Creflo Dollar's judgments, not that pastor's judgments who made that little 15, 16-year-old girl get up in front of the whole church embarrass her and let the Christians say judge people. That's what you embarrass this, not your judgments, the Most High God's judgments. We're to keep his laws, statutes, and commandments, not Egypt's, not America's. That is a concept that we have to get through our heads in 2025 while time is short. You understand? We have to keep the Most High God's laws. That's what this Wednesday night biblical law class is about. If you have any questions about is something being lawful or unlawful, you need to ask. Do not die in your sin. Do not rely on grace because you want to eat pepperoni or you want to eat damn vegan shrimp or you want to eat tuna. You don't even know if it's lawful or not. Don't die in your stupidity. The graveyard is full of fools who died in their stupidity. While you have this knowledge here, while you have these priests and prophets are able to teach, take advantage of that, man. We're reading all these records. It's Wednesday night biblical law class. All right. Any more on that? It's more on that scripture, right, Mark? Go ahead.
And keep mine ordinances to walk therein.
Keep the ordinances and walk therein. We got Akbar Yahweh Shabbat. Hey, Akal, what's up, brother? Akal Sapar, my man in Virginia, boy. Hey, he recounted me on you, boy. Brother Reggie, what's going on, player? My man, 100 grand pots and pans. Reggie, we got a question. Oh, Sister Kaiwa, what's going on, Sis Shalom? How much my thought shy? Says Salakia, sir. I do have a question about tuna. Why is it unlawful? Sis, tuna is unlawful because tuna does not have scales. I'll explain. Now, black people love tuna. Boy, good night. I ain't gonna hold you. When I was in the world, I used to eat tuna. Mom used to make a mean tuna, boy. Put that thing on, you like, ooh. And then one day, some nigga with gold teeth and braids said, man, tuna's unlawful. I looked at him like he was crazy.
Right.
But I'll explain something to you, sis. The Bible has a menu in it. Did you know that? The Bible has a full functioning menu inside of it in the book of Leviticus.
Leviticus 11 and 9.
That's how we know that tuna is unlawful. And I'll explain further. Go ahead, brother.
The book of Leviticus chapter 11, verse 9.
Uh-huh.
These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters.
Now, all the things are in the waters, lakes, streams, ponds, oceans, whatever. These are the things that you can't eat. It's like a menu. Go ahead.
Whatsoever hath fins and scales.
Whatsoever hath fins and scales. Now, there's two criteria it has to meet. Of all the things inside the water, it has to have fins and scales. Now, a catfish, it has fins, but a catfish does not have scales. It's one of the most slimiest, bottom-feeding fishes you can ever eat. Yellow meat, nasty scavenger. It eats dookie and all kind of nonsense that floats around the bottom of the damn creek or wherever. It's a very, very cheap, nasty fish. And a catfish has fins, but does not have scales. What's in that family also is tuna. Tuna is a very fast, big fish, but it does not have scales. Well, Zion, please. Yeah, you get that catfish, you got to go down, dig down deep in that little muddy area. The catfish will eat anything like a pig. You'll find a license plate in a catfish's mouth. They'll eat anything. But a tuna fish, tuna does not have scales. Matter of fact, if you could, Bonk, I'll pull up a video after you read what you got.
Salakia.
Mm-hmm.
These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters, whatsoever hath fins and scales in the waters.
Whatsoever has fins and scales, has two criteria it has to meet in order for an Israelite, a black, Latino, Native American Indian, in order for him to eat this thing, has to have fins and scales. Not just one, but two. Go ahead.
In the seas and in the rivers, them shall ye eat.
See how descriptive the Bible is? It breaks it down. It says, of all the waters, it didn't get specific, seas and rivers, any body of water. Whatever you pull out that water, in order for you to put that in your mouth, it has to meet two criteria: fins and scales. But what do black people love to eat? An oyster has neither. Eel, some eels got fins, but they don't have scales.
Right.
Scallops, lobster, shrimp, crawfish, all that. A tuna fish is a disgusting fish. It serves its purpose in the ocean. Just like every beast, every creature the Most High God created serves its purpose. All right. But a tuna fish is not for us to consume. And in a minute, you're going to start seeing tuna recalls. I'm a priest and prophet of the Lord. All right. And it's true. You're going to start seeing tuna recalls and people getting sick from eating oysters, tuna, and all manner of crawfish. Rare parasites are going to start running rampant through this so-called seafood community.
Salaki,
Go ahead, please.
if I may. You know, I posted a video today of a woman that was shucking oysters.
Yes.
She had an oyster on the half shell.
She sure did.
And
a
it
live
had-
parasite in that mud, a big dragon looking one.
Like
This parasite, this oyster, this white woman was eating, or whatever. This thing was hideous. As a matter of fact, we go. Damn it, we in class. All right, we gonna play it. Go ahead, brother.
Salakia, you know, it says tuna, like other seafood, can potentially harbor parasites.
Right.
Some common parasites found in tuna include the anisakis worms.
Anisakis, remember that anisakis worms. That is a parasite that's commonly found in tuna. Go ahead.
Kudoa.
Go ahead.
Tapeworms.
Tapeworms.
Flukes.
Good night. Fluke worm. These are parasites, and the list goes on. You understand? Tuna fish harbors a lot of parasites. Before you stupid dreadlock blackity black idiots get in my inbox, well, other fish got yes, but the criteria of the Most High God who created this fish, he said it has to have fins and scales. Who you gonna listen to? Some blackity black dreadhead, we spoken idiot, or the Most High God? I'll take my chances with God. And don't listen to the fake Amalek Jew. He is not a Jew. He is an imposter. The fake Jew who speaks Yiddish, he does eat tuna because he has no discipline. All right. He also gives moils to little baby boys. You understand? Tuna does not have scales. And before you idiots say anything about what has microscopic scales, who gave the law? It's called the law of Moses for a reason. These books are written by Moses. Did Moses have a telescope? Did Moses have a microscope when he wrote this book? I don't think he did. Moses did not have a microscope, so no, tuna does not have scales, so it's unclean unto us. We cannot eat tuna. I know it sucks because damn, it's like some people struggle with crab legs and shrimp. A lot of people struggle with tuna. Get some salmon, man. Make some salmon. Get that how your mama make them salmon croquet, salmon patties. Go ahead, sir.
Salaki, I think for us, it's at one point seafood was relatively inexpensive.
Yeah, it was.
You understand? You can go out, cash your net, and bring it in crabs. So it's more or less like the food that we would get from the slave master in the first place.
It's always
The
scrapped.
stuff that was thrown out the back door.
Yeah. And if somehow we add Old Bay to it and butter, and that becomes a delicacy. The chicken wing was not the good part of the chicken back in the day. The breast was. The chitlins, pig, they just disregarded the foot, the tongue, the mouth, gave it to niggas. We seasoned it up. Same thing. You look up lobsters. Yeah, what is an oxtail? It's the worst. What the hell is a tail? And we somehow season that thing up good. We eat oxtails to this day. Black people can make anything taste good. Anything. But we have to understand what's lawful and unlawful. Furthermore, that point, tunas do not have scales. A lot of people will argue that they do. We're going to show a video proving that they do not have scales. A tuna does have fins, but does not have scales. According to the menu in the book of Leviticus of what's lawful and unlawful, you cannot eat tuna. Go ahead, brother.
So, like, if I may.
This is educational purposes only. Fair use, fair use.
Okay.
Again, the outline is going to be using the scalloped blade.
Pause that. Now, look at this well-skinned, shiny, pig-like surface. Where the hell are the scales? Now, look at this is an actual tuna fish that this devil is about to cut. Now, mind you, I am no stranger. My granddad used to catch fish in the creek and the rivers, and he used to take them out back. So put a nail and take a fork and just a knife and a fork. And he got scales everywhere. So much scales that cats will come up and just eat the scales. You would see scales on the fish. The Most High God is a God of order and cleanliness. The tuna fish serves its purpose. It's a beautiful fish that God created. And guess what? Everything the Most High God created is good, but it's not good for food. Tuna fish is unlawful because it does not have, class said with me, scales. Go ahead, Monkey, y'all.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 11, verse 10. And all that have not fins and scales in the seas and in the rivers, of all that move in the waters, and of any living thing which is in the waters, they shall be an abomination unto you.
Abomination. It's something that when I hear that word abomination, I want that word far from me. Words sometimes hurt. And if you get caught eating tuna fish, it's abominable. You would think shooting someone or something the Lord looks at you eating tuna as abominable. Now, have we all had tuna unless you have a fish allergy? Yeah, a lot of people have tuna before. But now you know, so we have to do better as a nation. This is not just a singular problem. The whole nation struggled. And guess what? Subway had a recall recently. Not even a recall. Subway became under fire because somehow Black folks used to love Subway's tuna. I've never had Subway's tuna. I heard it was rich. I heard it was mid. I heard Subway's tuna sub was mid. However, they did a test on Subway's tuna and found out it wasn't even tuna. If you don't believe me, just Google it, man. I ain't capping. No cap in this rap. They weren't even, it was like sawdust mixed with something. I don't know what it was, but it wasn't tuna. Now, the Lord told you from the get-go not to eat it because it was unlawful. Now, that's an excellent question, Sister Kyle. Everybody give her a hand, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all get a chance, check out. Now, Sister Kyle can cook. She be on Facebook and Instagram whipping up all kind of dishes. Better than cooking with Kaya. Damn, cooking with Kaya. We got cooking with Sister Kaya Waft in the building. You know what I mean? So go to her page, like all her videos. You know what I'm saying? She be throwing down for the children of Israel. Hope that answers your question, sis. There's a lot more on it. Go to Leviticus 18. What chapter are we in?
11.
Leviticus chapter 11 is a whole menu. 11 verse 9. Read it all the way down. Read the book of Leviticus. It tells you about the clean and unclean laws, what animals we can and can't eat. And don't let nobody tell you that tuna is lawful because they're liars. And we can prove it more if you need. James Davis, what's up, brother? Shalom. Sis Naima, what's going on, sis? You know what I mean? Yeah, in the building. Ain't no sweat, sister. Water. Anybody got any more questions? We can get it on. Well, this is the biblical law class. We can get it on. Read that scripture from the top. We're gonna get off of it, get on something more.
Salak, if I may, the book of Leviticus, the 18th chapter, verse 4.
Yep.
Ye shall do my judgments and keep mine ordinances.
Yes, sir.
To walk therein. I am the Lord your God.
Oh, the Most High, our power. Remember that word, God. He's our power. You need something, turn to the Lord, but you better come correct. You wouldn't come before the judge dirty. You will come. You go before the white man judge. What niggas do? They gonna put a suit on all wrong. Yeah, what's that? They say, "Your mind." What's that song? How it go? Oh, that was funny. When Black people get in trouble, they need something. They go before the white man. They cut their hair. They shave their face. They put their granddaddy suit on. Nigga wore a suit all year besides Easter. But you in trouble, you come before the white man correct. You better come before the Most High God correct. It ain't about what you're wearing. It's about your conduct. You better make sure that you're keeping his laws. If you want access to his power. It's that simple. Don't you love with conditions? Don't you pick your Facebook friends and what niggas you like and don't like? How come the Most High God's indifferent? He's our power. If you want access to this power, your conduct has to be good. You can't come before the Most High God incorrect. You got to come correct. What's it? How it go?
Yeah, I never want to say I'm sorry
for the things I've done. Yeah, I'm gonna do better. That's how niggas coming for the white man. Well, if you can do all that to sing to the white judge who's the America's power. You better come correct to the Most High God. That means you better not be eating pork. You better not be smoking weed. You better not be sleeping with white women. You better not have a Christmas tree in your house. If you want access to the power, if you want God to deliver you or be there for you, you got to come correct. You understand? That was hilarious.
Let me read the rest of this.
Go ahead.
Leviticus chapter 18, verse 5. Ye shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments.
That's right.
Which if a man do, he shall live in them. I am the Lord.
The Most High is our power, and you're going to live in his law, statutes, judgments, his commandments, and they're beautiful. These law, statutes, commandments is why nobody gets molested in this school. Women don't get sexually assaulted in here. It doesn't happen because we have God's laws. You understand? We don't die. No one from UPK has died from fentanyl overdose. Not one. And it won't happen. Why? Because we keep God's laws. It's that simple. It's not rocket science. You understand? You have to obey. And obeying God goes against what you want to do because you don't want to obey God. You don't want to obey nobody. But guess what? You're going to have to obey somebody. You better start obeying Commander YAHANNA because he takes orders from Christ. They come from the Most High, and it's biblical. I pray you understand. Any more on that, brother? All right, I had a video on that. What's the name? Oh yeah, the Hiroshima bomb. Now give me the rich pastor one. Cue that up. All right, we're gonna yeah, it's the interview. Hey, I had it put up already. It's got the no, it's on the email. Yeah, you good. Yeah, you can exit out that because you can just pull it up anytime. Give me while you're doing that, if you could, brother. Give me Matthew 5:17. This is another question we had online about the fulfill. And I got a precept to cut your mama and every other person who says the law is done away with because Christ fulfilled it. We're going to explain to you what fulfilled means. We'll give you a precept to go with it also. And we're going to break down Matthew 5:17 really fast. Yeah, that's yeah. That's gonna go along with this scripture.
The book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 17. Think not that I am come to destroy the law.
This is Christ. Don't even think it. He did not come to destroy the law. Now, just with that alone off of Zion, if I was a Christian, that would end it for me. Oh, well, you Israelites are correct. Christ came to keep the law. That's all I would need to see as a person who understands context. I never struggled with reading comprehension in school, but you'd be surprised who did. A lot of grown PhD Negroes struggle reading comprehension. You understand? You got to have some reading comprehension. Go ahead, sir, please.
Salakia, well, it's heavy that you say that. We talk about the law, but if you grew up in a Christian church, the word law only referred to the police.
That's yeah.
You never thought about the law being something that was in the Bible. You understand? We knew about the 10 Commandments, but we never got introduced to what the law is. Right. You understand? That was something that was not talked about in the church that I grew up in.
Right.
We knew about the 10 Commandments, and people used to always say, well, don't sin against the Lord. You know what I'm saying? And things such of always do what's right. You know what I'm saying? But that word law being applied to biblical text was something that I was never introduced to.
Right.
You understand? We knew about the 10 Commandments, but the word law being something we should be following in the Bible, that's relatively new to today's society. You understand?
That's right.
It's like it's the new I guess the new flavor of the year, I guess, because you take it back, let's say 15 years before I even knew about the I.S.U.P.K. I never heard of somebody saying we need to keep God's laws.
Right.
I never even heard people asking what are God's laws.
That's a problem.
We were just told, you know what to do, what's right.
Yeah.
You gotta love.
How dangerous is that, Officer Zion? Because if I'm unlearned, I might think doing drugs. My OG giving me an ounce of coke is love.
And people will say, I remember growing this up. This is something I can speak on.
Right.
I remember my family member, people telling, I'd rather him do drugs in here than to be doing drugs out on the street. Why? Because I love my brother. I'm like,
how many times have I heard that? I'd rather my child smoke weed around me because if they go out there, it might be laced. What the hell is that? It's insane. We need Most High God's laws more than anything, especially in this day and time. Officer Zion is correct, man. You come in here, you learn reading comprehension, you learn about God's laws, because out there is nothing but death and darkness. That's why this Bible is called the light, because you can see within this darkness, man. How the hell you going to talk about God and not God's law? I guarantee you every Sunday, what was it? What was New Year's this year? Every watch night service. Yeah, no pastor talked about God's law. Everybody had a New Year's resolution, but I guarantee you, keeping God's laws was not one of them. Your fat tail want to lose weight. That's every damn year. You ain't lost a pound. You eat a goddamn Old Bay and oysters and tuna. You said you want to. What are some stupid resolutions they say? They want to get money. Everybody eating green peas and all this nonsense for get money. You still broken on Section 8. You want a husband, you're not getting one. You run every nigga you had off. Praying to God to send you a man, but you won't shut up. Yeah. You God protect. Think about all the New Year's resolutions that Christians prayed and cried about. Not one was, Lord, give me the strength Let me keep thy law. Show me the truth. I want to be one with you. I want to learn the Most High God's law, statutes, and commandments. I want to do better this year to keep God's law, statutes, and commandments. Number one, this is not the real New Year's. Number one, just let y'all know that. So you're in there looking stupid for no reason. Number two, the Most High God doesn't hear a sinner's prayer. You have to do an action to show God our power that you're serious. So all the New Year's resolutions I've heard online, none of them deal with keeping God's laws or loving thy brother or sister. Go ahead, Mark.
So, like, I got the definition of law
Please.
according to Merriam-Webster.
Mm-hmm.
Law, a binding custom or practice of a community, a rule of conduct or action prescribed or formally recognized as binding or enforced by a controlling authority. The whole body of such customs, practices, or rules.
That brother said binding. The law is binding if you're an Israelite. I don't care if you believe in this Bible or not. You're going to suffer because you don't keep God's laws. That's why there's no such thing as free will. Get that through your head. You're going to serve God or you're going to die. Those are your options. And you better choose wisely if you love your children. You understand? Where we at, Bonkel?
We're in the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 17.
Uh-huh.
Think not that I am come to destroy the law
Go ahead.
or the prophets.
Right.
I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill.
Oh, there goes that word fulfill. Pastor Joe Willie, your auntie with that big hat that swear Jesus talked to her. See, right there it says that Christ already fulfilled the law. That's what Christians say. Christ fulfilled the law when he went on the cross and died. It was fulfilled. So now we can just do what we want. Does that make any sense to anybody? It never made sense to me, of Zion. That's one thing I never struggled with was the law conversation. I didn't have that struggle. Some brothers struggle with weed and whores and scamming and getting money. More practical things that you're like, damn, well, I can't jug this nigga either. I can't finesse this African out of 20 grand. No, brother. I might struggle with that. Not the laws done away with. You mean to tell me now I could just punch you in your face and not go to jail for it? You can molest. That's dangerous to teach the laws done away with. You know, it's crazy. Yeah. And she's right. So, yeah, Kaiwa said, is God's grace the same thing as free will? No. God's grace is not the same thing as free will. I'll explain. God's grace is just a time period for us to get our lives together. Give me Romans where it says, so should we continue in sin that grace may abound? I think it's Romans 6. Romans. God's grace is like Romans 6, 1 and 2. Think about grace as a gift from the Lord. Think about all the wicked things we've done in the past before we knew the truth. And think about some of the things that people slip up and do while they're in the truth they shouldn't be. Grace is a time period to get our lives together. I remember I had a cell phone company called Singular Wireless. Now they're AT&T bought out Singular Wireless. I'm telling my age here. I was in college. My phone was always getting cut off. No, it's always getting cut off down to this day. And sometimes you're like, damn, my phone bill is $350. So I called a cell phone company. I said, hey, AT&T, hey, I get paid next week. Can I get an extension of my bill? And some heathen, yes, we'll give you a grace period of 2 weeks to pay the $350. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Anything I do for you, you've been a great help. Thank you. Hang up the phone. What happens if 2 weeks goes by, I don't pay that money? My phone gets cut off. Your phone gets cut off because I didn't pay the money I owed and asked for that extension. Grace is a time period to get your life together. It is not a license to sin. It's what God is being merciful because he loves us. Think about the Most High God as our father with his children. We see our children do things sometimes. He deserved a spanking for that. But then you look at him and be like, man, look at my little boy, my little girl. She ain't know no better. He ain't know no better. I'm going to give him another chance. That's grace from our heavenly Father. But it does not last forever. Ask young Dolph how much grace he think he had. Ask Triple X. Ask, just think about any rapper that gets shot. Julio Fulio. Nigga celebrated his birthday like it was all good. And the op slid on him. If he woke up that morning, brushed his teeth, picked his outfit out like everybody else did. He didn't know his grace was running out. Grace is like this thing here. You don't know. You could guesstimate when it's going to run out. You know, you don't know. But while it's running, fix yourself.
That's right.
Grace is a time period for us to get our lives together, not for us to continue in sin. And I'm gonna get to the free will part next. Go ahead, Markel.
We're in the book of Romans, chapter 6. You want me to start at 14?
Just get to get to the part, yeah.
Okay, Salakia. Book of Romans, chapter 6, verse 15.
Mhm.
What then? Shall we sin because we are not under the law, but under grace?
The question. Paul said, should we sin because we're not under the law? Now, a Christian will say, see, right there. It says we're not under the law. That's an unlearned pork eater. That's saying we're not under the punishments of the law.
Salakia.
Go ahead.
Let me start at 14.
Go ahead, start
Salakia.
at 14.
The book of Romans, chapter 6, verse 14.
Mhm.
Salakia.
You read one verse above it.
6 and 13. I can go there. The book of
That's
Romans,
fine.
chapter 6, verse 13.
Mhm.
Neither yield ye your members as instruments of unrighteousness unto sin,
That's right.
but yield yourselves unto God
Mhm.
as those that are alive from the dead, and your members as instruments of righteousness unto God.
Now we're alive from the dead, meaning we used to celebrate Christmas. Now we don't anymore. We used to eat pork and tuna. Now we don't anymore. We used to go to the strip club and waste money not paying our tithes. Now we don't anymore. Go ahead.
Verse 14. For sin shall not have dominion over you.
It's not going to have sin is not going to have dominion power over you. Read on.
For ye are not under the law, but under grace.
You're not under the what?
Under the law, but under grace.
That is what Christians use to eat pork right there. This is what your mother, your grandmama, Pastor Joe Willie, Auntie Cheryl that speaks in tongues, tie my bow tie, all these nonsense. They use that scripture right there to justify their sin. Read it again.
The book of Romans.
That last part.
For ye are not under the law, but under grace.
When you read that part, put punishments of the law. How do I know that? Jesus Christ is how I know that. When Christ came, there was a woman who got caught in the act of adultery. In the Old Testament, if a woman is caught in the act of adultery, the priests are to take her, bring her to the people, and get stoned to death. The scripture didn't say that, they thought, no, she was caught in the act of adultery. Somebody was tying fire to her tail, and she got caught.
Mm-hmm.
So what did Christ do? As the people brought this woman who was an adulteress, she got caught in the act cheating on her husband. And brought to the people, he said, let him without sin cast the first stone, first of all. Nobody threw a stone. And guess what happened after that? He said, look up, sis. All your accusers have left. Go and sin no more. Now, by law, she deserved to get stoned to death till her head cracked open. Everybody's supposed to pick a big ass rock and just beam it at her head until she died. That's what she deserved under the law. Christ came. Why? Because let's say she did that. And women like her were getting put to death all the time. Men were getting put to death all the time. There were certain sins you did, you had to pay the money back. You got cut off from the people. There were some sins you got your head cracked open by a big ass rock. You died. But how could you fix yourself if you're dead? How? You better thank them Christ for him dying for what you did, not for what you're about to do. Why is that important? Because now that woman who Christ said, go and sin no more, her grace. Christ gave her grace. He didn't take away the punishment. He said, you know what? You're supposed to die, but go and sin no more. You understand? Those are the punishments of the law that we're not under anymore because Christ died for that. That's good news for niggas like me who celebrated Christmas, smoked weed, sold drugs, did all kind of manner of evil. But because I'm under grace, I have a chance to be perfect again one time. Because grace covered me for the things I did not know or the things I might have known, but I fell short of. Christ got whipped and bled and died for me. Christ died for me celebrating Christmas. He died for me smoking weed. He died for me scamming. He died for me doing all manner of evil, but he's not going to die for me again to pick up this blunt tomorrow. That's not That's not how grace works. And we're going to read on more and tell you why. Read on.
Verse 15.
Mhm.
What then? Shall we sin because we are not under the law, but under grace?
Shall we keep? Can I keep eating pork? Because no one's going to kill me. Should I keep having sex with strange men and cheating on my husband? And guess what? He let the woman go. She didn't get stoned to death. Should I keep celebrating Christmas because I'm under grace? Should I keep eating crab, pork, lobster, Old Bay and butter on a crab broil with my family? Because the priest is not going to drag me out the house and stone me to death. I got grace. Should your Uncle Charles keep molesting everybody in your family because he's under grace? Let's make it practical. Let's bring it to black problems.
Right.
You got molested. Should he keep molesting? Because no one killed him yet. He better stop. He better. Should this drug dealer keep selling fentanyl? Keep selling crack? Keep stealing? You better stop. Think about grace as a time period to get your life together, but it don't last forever. Because you're going to do all this sin. Think of it as a restaurant. You're going to eat deliciously. You're going to order the steak, the shrimp, the pork, the crab, the stuff that comes to the table sizzling, the fajitas. You're going to margaritas. You're going to order everything on the menu. That bill is due at the end of that dinner. You got to pay for what you've done. You understand? Grace is not a license to sin. It's a time period to get your life together. Now, let's go to free will. Free will is made up. Free will is something that's made up by sinners. Because if you tell somebody, you know you shouldn't join the white man's military. You know you shouldn't steal. You know you should eat pork. You know you shouldn't kill this. We got free will, brother. Free will to choose. The Bible says choose ye this day. I place the left hand and right hand. You understand? Which God shall you serve? If I have a choice between keeping God's law or death, how is that free will? Why is death an option? I should be able to keep God's. It should be even. There's no such thing. Did Christ have free will? Christ was about to be crucified, and Christ did not want to do it. How do I know that? It's in the Bible. Christ said, Lord, which proves that Jesus Christ is not God, because he cried to a higher power. He said, Lord, if it be so, let this cup pass from me. But if not, let thy will be done. It's no such thing as free will. It's not. Christ did not want. Well, what happens if Christ would have? It would have been like, man, I ain't doing that. Huh? Yeah. Finish reading on.
In the book of Romans, chapter 6, verse 15. What then? Shall we sin because we are not under the law, but under grace? God forbid.
God forbid means hell no. It means no. Just because there's no priest knocking at your door, doom, doom, doom. Is Kowal in there? Yeah, he slept with a married woman. He broke the law. We're the law to come get him. We got to stone him to death because what he broke the law. That's what will happen. And my head will be cracked open by a big ass rock, by the whole community. Because Christ died. So brothers like myself and others can have a second chance to not do it. He didn't give me a second chance to keep doing it. He gave me a chance to not do it. Think about how many brothers died without having a second chance. That's why Jesus Christ is our King. He's very merciful. And without him shedding his blood, we wouldn't have a second chance. Because you would get put to death for celebrating Christmas. Go ahead.
So, like, if I may, when I think about grace, like the idea of Christians, I think for the most part, their idea of grace is what they would do to you when they don't want to forgive you.
Yeah, it's always based off some black woman not willing to forgive. The root of the confusion about grace, it started with a mean-ass black woman not wanting to forgive and teaching her grandkids and divorcing her husband. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You have to understand something. Grace is just a time period. That's it. That's why it's called a grace period. to fix your life, to fix yourselves. You understand? And it's so important that we do that because we cannot inherit the kingdom of heaven in our condition now. You think that sinners are going to inherit the kingdom of heaven? There is no scripture in the Bible where it says someone who eats pork is going to get on those chariots. It's not. Give me Zephaniah 2:1 real quick and I'll prove it. I'll prove it. They say grace is, yeah, and free will is just, that's white people talk. Free will is white people talk. No such thing as free will. It's not, don't get free will, you can choose with choices. A person can make a choice. I can eat hamburgers or French fries. Free will is the thought that you can do whatever you want. It's not true. Because the Bible says the wages of sin is death.
So like I was gonna ask, you still got that? You can finish reading that scripture. Use that verse 16, Bob. Sure.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Bunky. Here you go. Phone here. Oh yeah, you understand? That's a hell of a question Sister Kaiwath asks. Because I have grown ass 50, 60-year-old women and brothers who don't understand the difference between free will and God's grace. Because you need God's grace. You need the Most High's God's grace and mercy. You need it. Christ died for the thing you did, not for what you're about to do. So once you learn the knowledge of the truth of this Bible, you have a responsibility and duty to stay up, to not fall to sin. Go ahead, brother.
The book of Romans, chapter 6, verse 16. Know ye not that to whom ye yield yourselves servants to obey, his servants ye are to whom ye obey.
Right.
Whether of sin unto death or of obedience unto righteousness.
That's right. It's all about avoiding sin at all costs. Got to be righteous unto death. Free will, that thought of free will, it puts in your mind that you can do whatever. It's like free spirit. Who had that song, Free Spirit, I used to like? Was it Drake, Rick Ross? Can't remember who it was. Fire. But just the notion of thinking that you have free will, you don't. You don't have free will. None of it. No, if you're an Israelite, you don't have free will. Let the white man have free will. Let him think he has free will. He's skydiving, rock climbing, climbing Mount Everest, getting froze to death halfway up. He's jumping out of airplanes without a parachute with Red Bull. Let him think he has free will. Go ahead, sir.
Puff Daddy thought he had free will.
Puff, thank you. Water. Puff Daddy thought he had free will. His black ass is in jail. He ain't the only one. Jay-Z might be next. The Bible does say the stars shall fall. The people that you look up to, they thought they had free will. Tyler Perry, your ass is next. You on the hit list. You think T.D. Jakes was going to escape it? Yeah, T.D. Jakes preaches free will. Look where he's at. A power bottle on having sex with other men at P. Diddy's parties. Listen, there's no such thing as free will. People can make choices, but if you're an Israelite, if you're a black, Latino, and Native American Indian, you don't have a choice but to serve the Lord. Because on the other side is death. Choose ye this day. You understand? Go ahead, Buck, drop Zephaniah. Finish what you was reading, and we can get off that.
In the book of Romans, chapter 6, verse 16. Know ye not that to whom ye yield yourselves servants to obey, his servants ye are to whom ye obey.
That's right. Go ahead.
Whether of sin unto death or of obedience unto righteousness.
Read on.
Verse 17. But God be thanked that ye were the servants of sin, but ye have obeyed from the heart that form of doctrine which was delivered you.
That's right. As far as grace, when Paul is talking about, read the part about grace again, 6:1.
The book of,
was it Romans 6:1? Go to 6.
Romans chapter 6, verse 1.
Take this scripture to your grandmother or your mama or your coworker, anybody who talks about, God's grace and mercy and love and say all that, stupid nonsense. Free will, being under grace. Grace is not a license to sin. It's right here in the Bible. Read on.
The book of Romans chapter 6, verse 1. What shall we say then?
What shall we say then? They going back and forth. They was talking like we're doing now. Read on.
Shall we continue in sin that grace may abound?
Shall I continue to eat pork because I'm under grace? Should I continue to molest children because I'm under grace? Should I continue to scam with Chase and Navy Federal because I'm under grace? God's going to forgive me. Should I continue to murder? Should I continue to kill my baby? Having abortions? Should I continue to celebrate Christmas and serve other gods? Should I continue to celebrate my stinking birthday and make myself a god for the day? Because I am under grace, Officer Zion. I do have free will. Read on.
God forbid.
Hell no. God forbid means hell no in black talk. You should not do that. I'm going to tell you why. Read on.
How shall we that are dead to sin?
How shall we that are dead to sin? I don't smoke weed anymore. I don't celebrate Christmas anymore. I don't celebrate my birthday. I don't get high. I don't get drunk and piss on myself talking about my rap career and my torn ACL. I didn't make it to the NBA. Read on.
Live any longer therein.
How can you continue to live in that squalor when you know the truth already? You know that grace is the time period to fix yourself. How can you keep murdering? It's going to catch up with you.
That's right.
Because you think you have free will to make a choice when the Bible says what? The wages of sin is death. That's your option. Serve God or die. It's that simple. Hope that answers your question, sis. You know what I'm saying? Lord be with you, and Most High in Christ for answering questions. We should all have some type of question serving the Lord. I had 1,000 off of Zion. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Big shout out to Sister Kaiwa. You know what I mean? Read on. Give me, matter of fact, let's drop that before we get run out of time. Give me was it Matthew 5:17? Play the video of the rich pastor real quick. No sweat, sis. Most High in Christ to you, no sweat. Give me the rich pastors real quick. And I'm gonna tie this in with Matthew 5:17. Watch this. This video came across my feed the other day. And this is for educational use only, fair use. I can do it while you're doing that. You good. You know what I'm saying? Okay, go ahead. Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Pastors in the World 2024.
Just pastors.
Number 5, Bishop T.D. Jakes,
Power about
with a
him.
net worth of $100 million, is renowned for his dynamic preaching, motivational speeches, and leadership skills. 4, Pastor Kenneth Copeland, with a net worth of $110 million, is a renowned televangelist, author, and speaker. Number 3, Pastor Creflo Dollar, with a net worth of $120 million, is a notable American televangelist. 2, Pastor E.A. Adeboy, with a net worth of $130 million, is the general overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of God. At the top spot is Bishop David Oyedepo, with a net worth of $150 million, is widely recognized as one of the wealthiest pastors in the world. The 5 richest pastors in the world.
Now, remember what you just see. Remember what you just heard. All right. These are your pastors. Now, this list was short. It's about 100 of Negroes and white people on this list. It says richest, not just, it's a lot of rich ones that's worth 99 million, 50 million, 60 million, 28 million. That's craziness. Pimping the Bible. That's a very short list. Give me Matthew 5:17 one more time, if you could, brother. You too up. Let me show you something. We're going to talk about the fulfill and how these stinking pastors, they're going to have to pay for that.
The book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 17.
Mm-hmm.
Think not that I am come to destroy the law.
That's right.
Or the prophets.
Or the prophets. Go ahead.
I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill.
Fulfill means you go to your job every day, you have duties you have to fulfill before you clock out. But guess what? When you come back the next day, you fulfill them again. And you keep fulfilling them, and you keep fulfilling them. You don't stop fulfilling those duties until you quit the job or you get fired. You're not going to stop fulfilling God's law until those nigga never. You thought it was a check. You're never going to stop because God's law is righteous and perfect. Christ came on the scene and did exactly what the Most High God said to do. Not only did he execute it, he fulfilled it perfectly. He's our example on how to live. Aren't you the example on your job when a newbie comes in there because you fulfill your duties daily? Your manager said, hey, go follow Brother Craig. Then they nigga know what he's doing. Go shadow him. That's what they call it. Go shadow Craig. Why? Because Craig came to work one day and fulfilled duties and went on break forever? No, because Craig continues to fulfill his duties daily. He's a prime example on who to shadow. That's right. Christ is no different. The priest and prophets of God, no different. I'm going to prove it to you. Read on.
Verse 18. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled.
Not one dotting of an I or crossing of a T are going to pass from the law until all be fulfilled. That fulfilled word again. Let's get more. Read on.
Verse 19. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments.
Whoever breaks one of the least of the commandments. There's over 613 laws. Whosoever break one of the least, just think about what you think is the least commandment. I don't think none of them are least in the sense, but just think about, let's use eating catfish or smoking weed. Yeah, or not getting the edge up. Oh, that's getting the edge up. Let's just stay there. Or wearing blonde wig or blonde, whatever the hell you want, whatever you want to substitute right there. Just think about a least commandment, right? Go ahead, read that part again.
Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments, and shall teach men so.
This is what you need, and correlate what this brother just read to the video you just seen. We just read about the 20 or the 5 richest pastors. Who the hell is teaching you to eat pork? Who the hell is teaching you about free will? Who the hell is teaching you that tuna is lawful? Who is teaching you to have a Christmas tree in your house? Who's teaching you that you can abort your baby? Who's teaching you that a happy life, a wife a happy life, and damn niggas? Who's teaching you to keep Easter? Who's teaching you to celebrate Thanksgiving and that Jesus Christ is white?
Right.
Who's teaching you to leave your damn husband? Who's teaching you that? These filthy pastors. That's who's doing it. That's who's doing it. And the Bible said they're going to be called what?
He shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven.
Did we just see a video of least or greatest? Somebody blow my mind. Yeah, that's why it says least in the kingdom. Because you're going to gain from lying to God's chosen people. And that's what they're doing. They've been getting money, buddy. Balling like Jim Jones. Eating shrimp cocktail at 3 a.m, having dinner in New York, and having breakfast in LA. Private jet flying. These pastors have been getting rich off of lying to God's chosen people. That's why they'll be sweeping the floor after the Passover. That's why they'll be least in the kingdom of heaven, because right now they got it. But little do they know, World War III is coming. Thermonuclear destruction is coming, and it's coming to restore order. You stinking pastors, you won't be able to go to the ATM machine. That beautiful mansion is going to get ransacked by the same people you lied to. They're going to want to know where the hell is their tithes money when they need rice, when they need chicken, when they need food. They're coming to get it from you. You've been lying and getting rich. You're going to be least in the kingdom of heaven because you teach men to sin against God. You teach men about free will, and you teach men that the law's done away with. Right. Shame on you. You'll be called what, y'all?
He shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven.
Notice it said he. That's goes with she too. But you Negroes and white men and Africans are getting rich off the line of God's chosen people, and you're going to be least in the kingdom of heaven.
That's right.
The bottom. Come here, YAHANNA said something so powerful. Your T.D. Jakes, when it's all said and done, and men like him are going to be selling oranges on the side of the road because they can't work. They have to lie and scam and do it. They're fat, lazy, gelatinous bastards that can't work. They have to scheme and lie to you. He's going to be selling oranges on the side of the road. And brother, he's close to that. The nigga just asked his church for 2025. He needs TD Jakes just said, sow a seed for 2025. The nigga needs money. He needs $2,025. And he's lying to them, telling them to sow a seed. That's how they get Christians, especially black women. You tell a black woman her life is going to be better like Eve and sow a seed and she's going to be like a goddess, or she'll do it. And guess what's going to happen? He's going to be selling oranges on the side of the road one day. Most of our guys is going to get rid of him. He's already falling. He's a power bottom.
It's like when you say that to a black woman, your life going to be better, she automatically equate that to that sorry ass.
Yeah. That's what you do.
Him.
Yeah, because the Steve Harvey's books and TD Jakes books that tells women to celebrate themselves.
He's my problem.
Yeah, he's my problem. There's a book TD Jakes wrote about women celebrate yourself. He told her to light a candle, get in the bathtub, and celebrate yourself. Think about all the accomplishments you have done. Best-selling book. Celebrate yourself. Celebrate what? Leaving the husband, confusing the kids, being a whore. He pretty much set the tone for women just to, DJ the box and never need a man. Disgusting books, brother. The more we tap into this evilness, we can expose the evilness. Because these brothers are wicked men. And I'm not just picking on TD Jakes. It's men worse than him. Worse than him. I don't give a damn about them Africans. Let them eat bones and albinos and spend all their money. Just don't call none of my brothers and sisters scamming them.
So like, and it's just weird to me that he's asking for $2,025.
Yeah, lawyer fees ain't cheap.
Right around tax season.
Yeah.
You better get your tax return.
He's getting all your tax money. If he's not a pimp, then who is? If TD Jakes don't get pimp of the year, I'm going to have a problem. He got my vote. And you whores are the congregation. A pimp can't be a pimp without good whores. The congregation is worse than TD Jakes because they ask for it. Don't get me started. I could teach a whole 2-hour class on these niggas. Where we at?
The book of Matthew, chapter 5, the middle of verse 19.
Read the fulfilled part again. I'm going to give you a precept to cut your mama and to cut your grandma, to cut your pastor, proving that fulfill does not mean stop. Christ fulfilled the law. He did it perfectly, and we are doing it now. We're still fulfilling that same law. We didn't stop when Christ died. You stopped because you're a sinner. I'm going to prove to you to make it to the kingdom of heaven. These are men and women who continually fulfill the law until the end. Read on.
The book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 18.
Uh-huh.
For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled.
Give me 2nd Esdras 2:46. We're going to close it out with that. I'll play the World War III videos for y'all next week. Don't let me forget about nuclear winter. A lot of you brothers better put that blunt down. You better get out those strip clubs. You better start forgiving your father. Forgive your mother. We have to love one another. Christ is coming back, man. It's not a joke. A lot of you women better stop being silly. Stop living like some bad girls club nonsense. You're going to need strong black men in this cold winter that's coming. You ain't seen nothing yet. We're going to need each other. Read on.
The book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 2, verse 46. Then said I unto the angel, what young person is it that crowneth them?
Ezra's looking at a vision. He's having a vision. A lot of these visions are going to happen then, and they're recorded for us to learn now. And brothers and sisters are going to start having visions now in this day. Read on.
And giveth them palms in their hands.
You know who that's talking about. That's Christ. Read on.
Verse 47. So he answered and said unto me, it is the Son of God.
Oh, my goodness. Read on.
Whom they have confessed in the world.
They have confessed in the world. How do you confess the Son of God? How do you confess Christ in the world? It ain't by your mouth. By what you do. A rapper gets an award. He raps Megan Thee Stallion, Glorilla, Finesse 2 times. Meek Mill, Puff Daddy got an award and said, I thank God for this. Whole time he's a freak and a liar and a murderer. But he confessed with his mouth. That's how you know that's not what this is talking about. You make a confession about what you do. You understand? We'll get onto that later. But confession is what you do. And that confession comes with backlash. It could come with ridicule. It could come with someone making fun of you. It can come with your mama's mouth. It can come with that brother whose wife you slept with. And you want to tell him, he might punch you in your teeth or he might forgive you. But you got to confess either way. You got to be willing to be strong. You're going to confess Christ now in this day while everybody is not confessing Christ. Will you confess Christ? Read on.
Then began I greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly.
Stood so what?
Stood so stiffly.
Oh, brother, it ain't nothing but you stood so stiffly. He began to commend those who stood stiffly. You shaky. You wobbly for Christmas, your birthday, Easter. Easter's coming up. You still like, well, I might. You didn't stood stiffly. You're weak. No one likes nothing unstable. A table that don't stand stiffly, get rid of it. A woman don't like a stiff. Let me stop. No one likes things that don't stand stiffly. Can we all agree on that? You didn't stand stiffly on Thanksgiving. You were torn between your mama's house. Christmas came, you didn't stand stiff. You were shaky, baby.
Right.
You were shaky. New Year's came, you ate sweet peas and green beans and black-eyed peas and whatever the hell else. You were shaky. You weren't stiff. You didn't stand. You weren't grounded enough. You didn't stand stiffly for the Lord. You were still battling your stinking birthday. Read on, please.
For the name of the Lord. Verse 48.
For the name of the Lord, you didn't stand stiffly. But these people who get rewarded from Christ, they stood stiffly. They didn't budge when they heard Christmas. Damn Christmas. Damn my birthday. Damn New Year's. I'm going to the Passover. I'm not going to smoke weed anymore. I'm not going to rub crystals together, talk about my miracle, my season, my harvest. These people stood stiffly. When national anthem played, they sat down. They didn't stand for the playing of the colors of some flag that lynched your grandfather. Read on.
Verse 48. Then the angel said unto me, go thy way and tell my people what manner of things and how great wonders of the Lord thy God thou hast seen.
See, that's what we in now. We reading it. He's seen these great things. You don't think these things don't come to fruition? Wonderful and great things he's seen. Is there any more on that?
That's it.
Wonderful and great things, man. See, give me in this last scripture, we're gonna close it out. Give me Hebrews 3 and 14. You gotta be steadfast. It's an old gospel song, an old saying they used to sing back in the South. I am sold out, I am anchored in the Lord. Brother, you know what an anchor does? It keeps that ship from going too far. It's a big, heavy ass weight that's just weighted down. Jeremiah Hyman said something so heavy one day when I was an idiot fool in the world coming to this truth about around 2015-16. He said, you got to look at this truth in such a weighty way that you don't float off into another religion. That's an anchor, brother. You got to be anchored in this truth. You got to be still and stiff and not move and be wavered by every false wind of doctrine, because those winds will blow. The New Age movement will blow. LGBTQ, it will blow. Drugs, it will blow. Holidays, oh, look at me. Holidays will F with you. You'll be torn between serving God or yourself for your stinking birthday. Those winds will blow, but you better be stiff. You better stand stiffly for Christ. Read on. Hebrews 3 and 14. You better stand stiffly, because the ones who got palms from Christ, as were rewarded from Christ, were the ones who stood stiffly. They said those prayers at the Passover. Mm-hmm. They kept the feast days. They kept the Day of Atonement. What about you? Shrimp got you. Black and mild got you. Tuna fish in your birthday. Easter rabbit a stupid Easter basket with fake grass got you.
Hmm.
Candy corn for Halloween. Don't get me started. Read on.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 3, verse 14. For we are made partakers of Christ
That's right.
if we hold the beginning of our confidence steadfast unto the end.
Oh, the beginning of your you came into, you heard, oh, you was on fire for the Lord. You want to tell everybody you're Israelite. You want to do the will of God. You better keep that same energy, passion, and zeal until the end and stand what? Hold what?
Salakia. Hold the beginning of our confidence steadfast unto the end.
Steadfast until the end. You better be stiff and be steadfast till the end. Till the end. You're not saved and sanctified by the blood of Jesus right now, that the white man say, until the end. So you better keep fighting till those chariots come. And with that, that's my time. I'll pass the class on to I.S.U.P.K for the announcements.
Clap it up, clap it up. I.S.U.P.K security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K, started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother and sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They're here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21, the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verses 8 through 10, means tenth in the Hebrew, it's pronounced ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to treasury department or teacher. Priest funds, a free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. The upcoming Holy Convocation, we have the Feast of Purim, the 14th day and 15th day of the 12th month, Thursday, the 13th of March, and Friday, the 14th of March of this year, according to the book of Esther, chapter 9, verses 20 through 31. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black, boot, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. And with that, I imagine, which means to stand. Men of Israel are going to render one courteous salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, Imam Shabbat, Imagine, Barak, Yahweh by Shimi Shabrakatha. Yadamatai hands down, Sar, turning face to sisters. Sisters, I imagine, which means to stand. Men of Israel, we're going to render one courteous salute to our sisters. Men of Israel, Imam Shabbat, Imagine, Barak, Yahweh Shemal Latha by Shimi Shah. Yadamatai hands down, class dismissed.
Oh, you got it. Don't close it out.